This is John Francois with Archangel Technologies. I'm the senior instructor. Welcome back to the Pistol Report. We're going to continue on with cartridges and ammunition. When we left off last time, we discussed how the components fit together to form a modern cartridge. But before we go any further, let's do our 4 rules of gun safety. The firearm is always loaded. Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're on target and ready to shoot. Know your target and what's behind it, and don't let the barrel of the firearm point at anything you don't want to destroy. Alright, so let's get started. A quick refresher. You have a modern semi-automatic cartridge. It's the primer at the bottom, the shell casing, the propellant, the jacket, which is a harder metal over the lead core, and that prevents the bullet from deforming when it hits a target, deforming as soon. So the way it works is, once the firing pin or striker hits the primer, that lead azide or mercury fulminate type mixture shoots a hot flame into the propellant. The propellant starts to burn, and rapidly expanding gases build up in the shell casing. Then the projectile, which is crimped in or seated in the casing, has a particular tolerance of pressure. At whatever point they design, the bullet will then come loose, and because it's in the chamber of the firearm, it will engage the lands and grooves that impart a spin to the bullet. And so what we're going to do now is take a look at that. So this is a drawing of a chamber with a semi-automatic cartridge in the chamber. So these lines you see, that just represents solid metal. That's the back part of the slide, and this is the barrel and chamber combination. So the line you want to be concerned with is the line right at the nose of the ball ammunition, which is representing lands and grooves. The part of the what we call rifling. They're both synonymous. You can use rifling or lands and grooves. So now we're going to take a look at what lands and grooves look at from an aspect of looking through a barrel. Okay? So lands are the raised part, grooves are the lower part. And how it works is those are going forward or backward in a spiral type curve. And one of the big points to make is, for simplicity, just imagine an old-fashioned candy cane that has the red line and white line that are curved around all the way up. That's what basically the lands and grooves or rifling are doing in the barrel of a pistol. So we can talk about ballistics, but for the self-defense distances we're going to be training, ballistics really don't come into play. So ballistics are just a projectile moving through air being affected by drag and gravity. Now if you want to get into rifle ballistics and rifle shooting, that's where it becomes important. But for 3 to 7 yards, the effects of gravity or going through the air aren't that significant. But back to this, the casings are different for a revolver cartridge versus a semi-auto cartridge. A revolver will be rimmed. That disc is the rim at the bottom. That holds it into place in the chamber of the pistol. So what we're going to do is take a look at the revolver, and I'm going to hold it up and point to the chambers in the cylinder. Alright? So that rim catches on the top of that, and that's what determines how far down it goes into the actual chambers. On a semi-auto, you have rimless. There's a groove that goes all the way around and tapers all the way around the head of the cartridge, so that the extractor, which is a small claw-like projection that rides inside of the slide, can grab and eject, pull that cartridge out of the chamber, the empty spent one. Then it's ejected from the firearm. After that, what happens is, as we discussed, that bullet engages, once it's fired, the bullet engages the lands and grooves that are present in the barrel. And so just like playing or watching a football game, when the quarterback is able to get a good grip on the ball and he uses those threads to impart a spin, what happens is that stabilizes the football. It goes further and more accurate. So those are the same basic principles. Until next time, have a good one. Take care.